Here we have our two fun cards that we're looking at. So this is the Dilaniomor, and this is the Mossback Nomad. So we're analyzing these cards and looking at which one is better. Now there are two different things to note. Of course, this one is Earth, this one is Water. Earth doesn't have any special abilities against any other element type, they're neutral. But Water does have an advantage over Fire. So its damage would be 5 against all fires. So the Dilaniomor damages 2 and health is 5, but the Mossback Nomad damages 4 and health is 4. Well, the Dilaniomor of course has higher health, but because its damage is lower, that also means that its cost is actually a lot less, considering if it had higher damage. These two compared, his cost is 1 less. But now we're looking at the Mossback Nomad, and he has damage 4, health 4. So he's a little bit weaker, but he's got a lot better damage, which means he has a much higher hit chance against the monster. So the question is, which one do we think is better in a battle? If you're first starting out, the Dilaniomor is actually better because he has a higher health, and one of the strategies to winning in the game is to try to get a high health beast out first, because all you need is one to survive to prevent yourself from taking damage. The Mossback Nomad does not have that as much. It's just 1 point difference, but that chance does still have an impact. And so the Mossback Nomad is something you'd want to put back out a little bit later. And that is what you would do if you're offensive. So Dilaniomor is defensive, Mossback Nomad is an offensive beast. And typically anything that's evenly balanced, a 4-4 or 3-3, tend to be a little bit more offensive. But higher health is definitely helpful for defending yourself. And health 4 isn't too bad. That just means he has a 50% chance of surviving. Now, if it didn't matter where you were in the game and you could only put out one or the other, and suppose you already had a beast with health, I'd actually choose the Mossback Nomad, even though he's only one caustic more expensive, only one more energy. But he can start fighting right away, and he has a high chance to start killing away the main monster. Looking at these two as far as artwork, this one came out later. This one was one of the first ones I ever did, and for me, when I first was starting out, even learning technique and the technique I wanted to use for these, I was developing. And I even suggest for those of you who are starting your own TCG games, go ahead and just start drawing, and your art, skill, and technique will come along later. You'll just learn as you do by practice. And if you don't like your first ones, you can put them aside, and you can always bring them out later to kind of look at them and show people and say, this is where it all started. And then you can show them where you ended up later, how your art improved, and you can come out with some cool creatures or beasts. Now, one other reason why I might pull this one out is because of the damage 4. Suppose you're fighting a main monster who is fire, that makes this even more valuable. However, he's weak against plant, so you're fighting a main monster who is plant. This guy suddenly isn't as important. He's a little bit weaker, in which case I'd actually might choose the Dilaniomor to come out first. Anyways, those are those two cool cards. I really like them. Yeah, so that's all.